Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Gates channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. Now, let's jump straight into today's exciting update. Tomas had been knocked down so many times that it almost seemed as though life itself had decided to test how much disappointment one man could endure before finally breaking. The past few weeks on Beyond the Gates had been nothing short of brutal, each new setback arriving before the sting of the last one had even begun to fade. Every attempt he made to reclaim his confidence somehow ended with another painful reminder that good intentions and bold gestures do not always lead to happy endings. Yet, just when it appeared that the weight of failure was becoming too much for him to carry alone, fate quietly prepared an unexpected source of comfort. According to Monday's events, a surprising ally will step into Tomas's life at precisely the moment he needs someone to remind him that even after repeated heartbreak, no one has to face their lowest point completely alone. The road to this moment has been paved with one humiliating mistake after another, many of them born from Tomas's own decisions. Determined to prove the depth of his love, he ignored every warning that advised him against making a grand public proposal to Kat, instead of choosing an intimate moment where their feelings could remain private. He chased the fantasy of an unforgettable romantic declaration. His determination became so overwhelming that he even interrupted Vernon, drawing everyone's attention before launching into the proposal in front of Kat's entire family. For one hopeful instant, Tomas believed he was creating the kind of memory couples cherish forever. Instead, the atmosphere shifted almost immediately, replacing anticipation with unbearable tension as every pair of eyes focused on Kat, waiting for an answer that would ultimately shatter his dreams. Kat handled the heartbreaking moment with as much kindness as she could muster, gently pulling Tomas aside before softly rejecting his proposal. She spared him harsh words, but no amount of compassion could erase the humiliation that had already unfolded before an audience of family members who had witnessed every painful second. The silence that lingered afterward was almost louder than any argument could have been, leaving Tomas to face the crushing reality that the most public moment of his life had also become one of its greatest disappointments. Hoping to ease the emotional wounds she had unintentionally caused, Kat later purchased the condo as a heartfelt gesture, believing it might somehow repair the damage between them. But rather than recognizing the sincerity behind her effort, Tomas responded terribly, allowing his pride and frustration to speak louder than gratitude. His reaction only deepened the emotional divide between them, creating fresh tension where healing might have begun. Although he eventually tried to soften the conflict by offering a compromise, the solution felt far from satisfying, leaving both of them standing on uncertain emotional ground with wounds that had yet to truly heal. As if his personal life were not already complicated enough, Tomas soon found himself stumbling once again in the professional world. When Bill was forced to step away from his law firm because of a frightening health emergency, he entrusted Naomi with the responsibility of overseeing the business in his absence. Rather than respecting that decision, Tomas allowed his ambition and wounded ego to cloud his judgment. Convinced that he should naturally be the one leading the firm, he boldly informed Naomi of what he believed should happen, carrying himself with a confidence that bordered on arrogance. It was impossible to ignore the enormous chip resting on his shoulder, and Bill certainly wasn't willing to overlook it. Instead of rewarding Tomas's self-assurance, Bill firmly put him in his place, scolding him for the disrespectful way he had treated his own daughter. Once again, the junior partner proved incapable of reading the room, saying exactly the wrong thing at exactly the wrong time and pushing himself even further away from the respect he so desperately wanted to earn. By the time Monday arrives, Thomas is carrying the emotional weight of failure from every direction, making the arrival of unexpected support feel especially meaningful. His circle of friends has never been particularly large, which makes Grayson's willingness to simply listen all the more significant. Sometimes the greatest gift someone can offer isn't advice or solutions, but a patient ear and genuine understanding. That moment will most likely unfold inside Uptown, where Grayson has recently settled into his new role as bartender. There is something almost timeless about bartenders becoming silent witnesses to people's struggles, offering quiet comfort while life unfolds one conversation at a time. For Thomas, whose pride has repeatedly isolated him from those around him, sitting across from someone willing to hear him without immediate judgment may become the first real opportunity he's had to reflect on everything that has gone wrong. After weeks of disappointment, perhaps this simple conversation could become the beginning of a much-needed emotional turning point. Elsewhere, another emotional storm continues to gather as Danny and Bill once again find themselves sharing the same space. Every encounter between them seems destined to ignite conflict, and this latest meeting appears to be no exception. The unresolved tension between them has been building for far too long, fueled by painful history, lingering emotions, and a series of recent events that refuse to stay buried. Bill's frightening health scare has changed perspectives, while Danny's explosive confrontation with Haley has only added more emotional fuel to an already dangerous fire. Yet beneath every sharp exchange and every heated disagreement lies something even more powerful, a secret they continue to protect together. Soap fans know better than anyone that hidden truths never remain hidden forever. No matter how carefully they are guarded, secrets have a way of finding daylight. And when this one finally emerges, the consequences could reshape every relationship connected to it. Meanwhile, another romance quietly moves toward an important crossroads. Ted and Shanice have certainly experienced their share of obstacles, facing repeated challenges that tested both their patience and their commitment to one another. Much of their struggle has been shaped by lingering complications involving Ted's former relationships, while Shanice has carried emotional baggage of her own that has occasionally allowed insecurity to creep into their otherwise promising future. Despite those difficult moments, they have continued choosing each other, refusing to let old wounds permanently define what they are building together. Ted recently confessed to his nephew that he has been overwhelmed by the depth of his emotions, openly admitting that he is feeling everything with a sincerity that left little room for doubt. That heartfelt confession now seems to be leading them toward a major milestone in their relationship, signaling that all of their perseverance may finally be rewarded. Their journey has not been perfect, but perhaps that is exactly what makes this next chapter feel so meaningful. The emotional focus eventually shifts toward a heartfelt conversation between mother and daughter as Kat and Nicole sit down to discuss the matters weighing most heavily on their hearts. Unsurprisingly, Thomas is bound to dominate much of that discussion, his recent actions continuing to ripple through their lives. Nicole remains relieved that Kat made the difficult decision to reject Thomas's proposal, believing her daughter ultimately chose the path that was right for her future. At the same time, however, she cannot ignore Kat's impulsive decision to purchase the condo afterward, a gesture that feels like an emotional response made in the heat of heartbreak rather than careful consideration. Their conversation may also drift toward Nicole's own complicated romantic life, where she continues trying to balance relationships with two different men. As mother and daughter open up to one another with honesty and vulnerability, Kat may finally receive an overdue update update about Nicole's complicated relationship status. Together, their quiet exchange promises to become one of Monday's most touching moments, reminding viewers that amid all the betrayals, confrontations, and hidden secrets, the strongest source of comfort can still be found in the people willing to listen with love.